Welcome to the After Six Gloves Ambitious Tribe podcast and webinar. I'm your host, Cassie Pajarillo Braganza, international independent LinkedIn trainer, startup founder, speaker, and encourager of dreams and ambitions. In this training series, this is where I take you to a fireside chat conversation together with our guests. We will answer your questions and thoughts after advice when it comes to driving ambition, which you can take action on right away and make things happen. Hello, you guys, and welcome back to another awesome episode of the Ambitious Tribe podcast and webinar. It's going to be quite an interesting session today as we'll be talking about something more inclined to finance and investments. You see, it's 2020 and the market's been extremely down. And as much as some are rejoicing to put in some more investments, there are those who are extremely worried, like they're anxious to hell. So this is where I decided to also invite in a good friend of mine, whom I'm just about to introduce. We are going to be diving deep into how you can earn more through a down market. Hear that, guys, down market. In this episode, we'll be having the master trading of one of New York's reputable trading school, Dominic of Day Trading Academy. And to top it all, he's been trading since 2010 and has taught hundreds of students worldwide. All right, so hi Dom, thanks for being here.
Hello, nice seeing you. Nice seeing you again, Cassie.
Right. How have you been lately? We've been in quarantine for what 2 weeks now? It has been.
2 weeks. In fact, I've been coaching some students of mine online, and like I said, I'm a master trader for Day Trading Academy, and originally in the U.S., we teach our students online. So it's basically new here in the Philippines in terms of teaching online. Correct.
Oh, interesting times, definitely. So, I'm going to go straight to the reason why we're here. And also, I'm sure our viewers and our listeners are like eager already what to know. I mean, what is this? Another investment, diba? Like another way of trading. There's Forex, there's cryptocurrency, there is all sorts of equities and so on and so forth. So let's deep dive into this one. So Dominic, tell me about it. What is day trading?
Day trading. There's a lot of misconceptions about day trading. First of all, there's a misconception that, you must be trading during the day instead of during the night.
Okay.
It's really, in fact, I had a student. So basically, day trading is in a technical aspect, we get out of our position within one day, within the trading session of one day. Okay, so basically, that's why it's called day trading.
So how is it different from other forms of trading though? Yeah, but you were saying.
Right. In forms of trading, especially in Forex, I think a lot of people are more successful being more like swing traders, or they hold a position for over days, months, in terms of stocks, especially here in the Philippine stock market, usually you see it's more long-term. It's more an investment. It's more of a investor. In terms of day trading, what we do is trade. It's not really investing, it's really trading. And we have what we call these short, basically our positions last from anywhere from less than 1 minute to as much as we can swing trade the whole thing for the whole day. In our system that we teach, we basically teach you can be done within 1 hour.
Okay, you lost me in swing trading and also in no, but this is good. So you lost me in swing trading, and you were saying that you're trading. So what is it you're trading? Is it what is it? You're trading what?
Okay. Well, maybe first explain swing trading. Swing trading is more of a, should I say, more of a medium-term type of
investing and trading. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, because there's a difference between trading and investing. Okay. Investing is more long-term, just like when you invest in real estate, right?
Okay.
Real estate, you don't see your profits until after years. In the Philippine stock market, most of the people who invest in there are investors. They're not traders because they hold a stock for how many years before they realize a profit.
Okay.
In terms
Yes.
of trading, we trade it more of short term. In terms of we trade it in and out within a specific time period. That's why it's called day trading. Now, your second question: what do we trade? That's a good question because not a lot of people here in the Philippines know exactly what we trade. It's called E-mini futures. And people say,
Okay,
"Wow,
what
what's
is
that?"
futures, right? So, but
What's
yes,
E-mini
let's
futures?
educate. Yeah, let's educate our viewers and our
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, basically a brief background. I don't want to be too technical because then we might lose a lot of people here. So basically, just to be more basic, I'll give you some basic terms. E, which is in front of the E-mini futures, is basically for electronic. It means electronic mini futures. Futures in the U.S., we deal with, should I say, we deal with a specific exchange where it's only traded in one specific exchange. Therefore, it's centralized. It's called the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, or the Merc, which is based
Mm,
in Chicago.
okay,
So
okay.
you can only trade this over in the U.S. Okay, like just like for example, you can't purchase Jollibee stock you can only purchase Jollibee stock where? In the Philippine
Philippines
Stock
Stock
Exchange, right?
Exchange, right?
Same thing as futures. You can only trade futures in the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Nowhere else.
Mm,
Nowhere else.
okay, got it, got
Okay.
it. Okay, got it. So I hope our viewers and our listeners got it as well. So at least
Well,
that's
here,
really
explain one.
informative.
Here's one basic thing of what a futures is. Futures contract is this. For example, a farmer, a coffee bean farmer who harvests his coffee beans here in the Philippines and sells his coffee beans to a customer, namely Starbucks. Let's say he sells that for 500 pesos per kilo, right? So when Starbucks does their what we call their financial analysis, and they speculate that the price will go up in the near future, let's say 1 year, they will come back to the coffee bean farmer and say, "Can we lock on that price at 500 pesos per kilo because we speculate the price will go up?" So the coffee bean farmer will think about it and say, "You know what? I have no control. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell there will be a drought or will there be a flood. So, if I'm guaranteed this 500 pesos per kilo, I'll take it." So that's what a futures contract is. That contract is based either in months, 3 months, 6 months, or years. It can be 1 year, 2 years, and so forth. That's what a futures contract is.
Okay, so the key word here is futures. All
Right.
right. Okay, got it, got it. So, there are a lot of investors, and of course, there are also different personalities on how a person invests, and or as do we say, trade as well. So,
Right.
let's go into your personal principles.
Okay.
Since you are a trader yourself since 2010. What are your principles when it comes to trading and investing in general?
My principle is basically I like to inform people or educate people that if they are currently, like a lot of people here in the Philippines, they are invested in real estate, they're invested in the stock market, they're invested in life insurance, like the mutual funds, or what we call the people have been selling or investing in the VUL, yeah,
Mm-hmm,
value.
mm-hmm,
Had a life insurance with a mutual fund that's attached to it. Those are good investments, but those are more long term. What I always tell my students, or my students, why don't you just consider on diversifying? Some people want to diversify where they can, and what we offer is basically the student who trades of more of a short-term income stream rather than a long-term where you'll be holding like for example, stocks and real estate. You don't realize the profits there until several years. Let's say
mm-hmm.
you buy a condo unit, you rent it out. By the time you realize a profit there is probably how many years, correct?
Yes, correct.
So what we offer is basically more of short term, more of what we call day trading, is because you see it on a daily basis. You can incur your losses or your profits on a daily basis.
Okay, all right. So we our title for today's episode actually is about leveraging on the down market. And
Right.
you're saying that this is so much different from the other trading or stock markets and so on and so forth, because I mean solely because with day trading you can actually earn more while it's down. So it's
Yep.
crazy. Unlike when if it's down, it's really down, you're gonna cry and then just
Right.
wait until it, it goes up. So why are we gonna leverage on day trading
Right.
and being down?
So, like in a lot of people who trade stocks, they cannot short sell or they cannot sell stocks, right? They have, like, for example, now a lot of people are in the red in terms of what they're holding in their stock portfolio. In
Right,
fact, now I
right.
think the Philippine Stock Exchange is under basically lockdown,
Yes, they
because
were
they
closed
don't,
off.
right, because the should I say the downtrend that is, in fact, it's crashing. That's what they're saying. So what we do, what we trade, we make money not only on the uptrend but also in the downtrend. In fact, we make more money on the downtrend. The reason
Right.
being is that we make money on fear.
Okay.
People
Okay.
start, and this, like, you can notice it now in around here. I mean, especially with the lockdown, not only here but also in globally,
Yeah.
there is fear, and we make money on fear.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I think not a lot of markets, like maybe Forex, you can do the same thing because you can also make money short selling or selling short on Forex as well as a futures. But we only concentrate on one market, and that's basically the index, the S&P 500 index of the U.S. stock market. We don't buy stock; we speculate on the price, and that's the big difference between people who invest in stocks. They have
Mhm.
to own that stock, wherein we don't own anything. We just speculate on the price.
Okay, so Dom, how can a person get into day trading anyway? When they were saying that you can start day trading, and no, not trading, start trading with 5,000 pesos. I mean, is this
Right,
also
right.
the same principle? I mean, does it also work that way?
Yeah, in fact, now recently the CME, which I mentioned before, is the Chicago
Chicago,
Mercantile Exchange.
right?
What they have introduced now to what we call retail traders, which is all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Retail traders are people who have a limited amount of money to invest or to trade. They offer the retail traders a new vehicle investment instrument called the micro e-minis. The micro e-minis are basically almost the minimal investment that you can get in there to start trading is between $100 to $400. It's
Wow.
very competitive. It's very competitive to a lot of Forex traders.
Mhm.
A lot of Forex traders are in the Philippines,
Yes,
because
yes,
the reason
I, yeah.
reason they trade Forex is because the low required capital to trade.
Exactly, exactly.
Some brokers require what, between $50 to $100 to trade.
Mm.
So what the CME did, instead of trying to compete with the forex brokers, they created another instrument called the micro e-minis. So basically, you can invest, or should I say, you can start trading with a minimal amount of $100 to $400, depending on which
Yeah.
broker you use.
Okay, so that's about 5,000, yeah,
Yeah.
100, right?
Let me
Five
see.
thousand,
Yeah.
seven thousand pesos. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Around, wait, $500 is what, $400 is around what, 15,000,
Right. Yeah, yeah. No, no,
between
because
15 to 20,000.
okay, so exchange rate is 1 to 52. So yeah, so if it's
Yeah,
hundred
around 20,000.
dollars, yeah,
20,000.
around
Yeah.
20,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the minimum is 20,000, right?
Yeah, around there. Yep.
Okay. All right. All right. So that's interesting. Now, okay. So why did you choose to go for e-mini futures anyway? I mean, okay. For those who haven't, who doesn't know Dominic yet, he has a background in stocks, right? And Forex.
Right,
So
right.
why switch? Why did you just suddenly went on for day trading and left the world of Forex and
Okay.
other kinds of
Right,
trading?
right. So Forex, I traded Forex for 3 years. That's how I began trading. In fact, I was trading part-time.
Mm-hmm.
I had a full-time job. I traded that part-time, and the reason I kind of uh, shied away from Forex was because I was not consistent in making a profit. I would make money, I would
Oh
give it
wow.
back. I would make money, I would lose money. I mean, it was just like an up and down thing where can I really make a living out of doing trading Forex? And so, and with Forex, there's a lot of you have your what we call your major currency pairs, which is basically what I think 26, and you have to watch and scan 26 charts or 26 charts or currency pairs to determine which one will I answer. Whereas what we trade, what we teach our students, we're basically concentrating on one market, and that's it, one screen, and that's it, and that's the S&P 500 market. So once you master that, you already know the patterns that happen every day in that market, the S&P 500 market. I mean, that pattern occurs several times a day. So once you get accustomed to that pattern, you know how to make money. Whereas in Forex, like I said, you have 24 charts. You have or currency pairs that you have to look at. And not only that, you're scanning at one time. I think there's a Harvard study that was
Right.
released several years ago that says in terms of multitasking, once you start multitasking with one or two or more things, your attention, should I say, span decreases by 40%.
Yes, right.
So
And
can
it
you
can
imagine
also
doing that
cause
for 20?
anxiety.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine trying to keep track of 26 charts?
Right. And yeah, if an accountant can't, I mean, I can't even do like 26 charts at the same time, and your eyes can only
Right,
handle so much. So
right, right.
I get it. Okay. So you were saying that in comparison to Forex and anyway, the other kinds of trading,
Stocks,
yeah,
sorry.
stock. So you were able to sustainably earn every day and make a living out of day trading. So this is actually what you've been doing. I mean, you're not side hustling to to
Right.
other things. Are you also a corporate professional then? I mean, for now, is this a good way to also be I mean, is it sustainable living? Yeah, is
Well,
this
here,
something
yeah,
you would
yeah.
recommend?
That good question. That good question. So, what I teach my students, especially beginners,
Mm,
keep your job, keep your day job, keep your job. This will eventually become should I say, a supplemental income, right?
okay.
While you're still keeping your job, because the market that we trade is basically traded during the evening here. So
Mm,
now they just changed over to daylight savings times in the States. So we start trading at 9:30 at night. We're
mhm.
done by 10:30. You would have gained your either profit or loss. I'm not saying we earn every day. Again, it depends on the trader and on the
Okay.
mentality of the trader, right? But
Right.
you can be consistent once you become what we teach you how to, because trading is more mental rather than is technical analysis. You can be great at technical analysis, but if you can't control your emotions in terms of making money, because what we teach is basically we don't concentrate how much money you make. It's basically making consistent decisions on if you're going to enter that trade or not. Basically, that's what it is. Making good decisions consistently so that you have a high probability of winning that trade.
Okay.
It's not about making the money. Consistency turns into money. That's what it
Yeah,
is.
so I think it's a good principle in any industry, and honestly, whether you are in marketing, for a living, if you're in sales, especially if you're in sales. No, actually, especially on anything.
Mm,
Consistency really is the name of the game. And I
right,
love when you said also that it's not about money. So greed really plays a huge
right.
downfall to anyone who just focuses on just money, and it just destroys everything, like even your
Well,
mind.
here's one thing. That's one thing about being a successful trader, where you could eventually become, where trading can eventually become your full-time income.
Right.
See, you have to master the two, should I say, the two fallacies of human nature, which is greed
Mm-hmm.
and fear.
Right.
So greed, if you don't have discipline over those two uh, human nature characteristics that we consider as negative, then you won't become a successful trader being consistent, because then you'll have that thing taking over you, or that those two elements, meaning greed or fear.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah.
once you master that, we teach you how to do that by our system, how to eventually become a disciplined trader.
Okay.
It's a process. It's a process. It doesn't occur in 3 days or 1 month. It's a process.
Yeah, and I'm sure there are a lot of self-talking involved as you
Right, right.
trade.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, oh my,
There
am I
is.
gonna go? Am I gonna go this way?
Yeah,
Am I gonna go this way?
yeah.
But okay, am I scared? What am I feeling? Oh my God, there's so much mindfulness
it's
happening.
it's more you know what, it's more like a self-analysis. trading
Right.
is a Trading is a personal journey, and that's what it is. It makes you, if you want to succeed in this, it basically makes you a better person in terms of being a disciplined person.
Right. So I love how it's teaching you, self-assessment, try and also your consistency. And while you're also doing all this self-development, you're also
Right, right.
earning with,
Yeah, exactly,
that's a good way
exactly.
of to put things into a perspective.
Right.
And, I've heard also, I mean, I've done a little bit of research about this, and I've heard that trading futures is banned in the Philippines. I mean, is this true?
Yeah. Well, maybe this is what, since we are governed by the SEC Philippines. I mean, we register with the SEC Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have to. There's a disclaimer. Yeah, futures was, in fact, in the 1980s, futures was being traded, but not in the States. Was being traded here in the Philippine Stock Exchange. What happened was it became banned
Mm-hmm.
because there was a lot of corruption going on with that. Now a lot of people are saying, well, how can we trade futures if it's really banned here in the Philippines? And so we had to issue a disclaimer that we issued with that was approved by the SEC, stating that yes, futures trading is banned here in the Philippines, but what we teach how to trade futures in the U.S.
Right.
in the U.S. market rather than here. Yes, it is true. It is banned in the Philippine Stock Exchange, but
Okay. Okay.
the futures that we trade are traded in the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, which is in the U.S.,
Not
not
the
in the.
Philippine Stock
It's not,
Exchange.
exactly,
Okay, so that's
exactly.
a difference, you guys.
There's a big difference.
Right. So, with that difference in mind, and also having to learn what day trading is now, like you're not trading during the day, of course, not at least in our time zone.
Right, right.
And the principles, how it's giving you some self-assessment also with your emotions and discipline and so on and so forth. I think I wasn't able to, or did I? Yeah, I think I did ask you about the futures different from stocks and forex. Can you give us a summary on what are the differentiation of the three? Just so
Okay, of the three.
people, yeah, just to
Okay,
summarize it.
just give them nice and brief,
Yeah,
because if, like I said, if I think we will be offering a course where it's going to be more in depth, correct?
right.
So basically, to tell you the differences between futures and stocks and forex. In forex, it's decentralized market. Even though a lot of people say it's regulated, it's really not regulated per se, because the thing is, there you have five different markets in forex. You have the Asian market, you have the Australian market, you have uh, the UK market, you have also the Euro market, as well as the US market. Um, you have all those markets, and each market has a different price, right? It's not regulated by one body, whereas in futures it's regulated by the CFTC, otherwise known as the Commodities Futures Trading Commission in the US, which is called the CFTC. They are the only body that basically governs and regulates the futures market. The CFTC, as well as the NFA, the National Futures Association, they both regulate how you they regulate the brokers that basically deal with the futures, and also the exchange itself, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. They have to go through the regulation through them,
Mm.
whereas in the forex, the brokers, there's really nothing going on. I mean, there's really no regulation. They may have a paper that says they're regulated, but um, by a specific government. In fact, there's some forex brokers that are banned from the U.S.
Oh, wow.
Here
Okay.
in the Philippines, they say it's illegal, but I don't think the SEC knows how to enforce that. So they really
Mm-hmm.
they just put out a memorandum of saying illegal, but they really don't know how to enforce it. Now, in terms of stocks, I mean, that's a big difference between Forex and futures. One is regulated. The futures is a centralized, like I said, where
Regular.
can you buy? Is
Okay.
centralized meaning where
Yes.
can
Yes.
you trade futures? There's only one market, Chicago
Mm.
Mercantile Exchange. Second one is in Forex, they give you what we call um, leverage. Leverage is really hard to explain. People there who are traders right now, leverage is considered more, giving you more power on your dollar. For example, in the stock market, when the market goes up $1, you earn $1.
Mm.
In the
Mm.
futures market that we trade, the S&P 500, $1 makes $1 movement in that market gives you $50 in profit. Therefore, it's a 50-to-1 margin, or
Right.
leverage, I should say,
Right.
50-to-1 leverage. Whereas in Forex, some brokers give you either 100-to-1 to up to maybe 500-to-1, or even 1,000-to-1, depending on the broker. With that leverage, that's a double-edged sword for
So is
Forex.
the 50 to 1, the 1 into 50, 50 into 1, is that global or is just the Philippine?
No, that's global. That's
That's global,
set.
right?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's set. That's
Good, good,
set by
good.
the CM. That's set by the CME.
Okay. So unlike Forex
It
and
fluctuates, right?
yeah,
It
but
fluctuates.
the
Right,
other two, it fluctuates. Unlike with this one,
right,
you have a projection already or a forecast. Okay, how
right.
many am I
It's
gonna?
51.
Right. So okay, so that's fantastic.
But in stocks, it's basically 1-to-1. There's no leverage in stocks.
Yeah,
Like
and
I
it's
said,
stocks.
in
It depends also business, also portfolio.
right, right,
Okay.
right,
Okay.
right.
Okay. I'm trying to. Oh yeah, we're educating people. So those of you guys who are interested in this, honestly, I've been looking towards and forward to futures, and I really do think that this is something that Filipinos can get into, especially knowing there are only few, right? Compared
Right,
to
right,
Forex
right, right,
and
right. There's a lot of, yeah, exactly.
so
In
there's
fact, that
huge
what we always teach is not about, it's not about the money. Like I said, it's never about the money. It's what we teach you is basically to be disciplined. And what we offer is, like I said, a lot of investors out there who are more into the long term. We offer another term. We offer diversification into an investor's portfolio, right?
right.
For example, I know you're involved in some investments that are more medium term to long term, right? What we offer is the opportunity to offer a short term income stream.
And how do you withdraw the money, Dom? Because if you're saying that it's from the
Right,
CME, yeah,
right,
from
right. So
Chicago,
the
yeah,
CME, so the brokers are
CME,
only
yeah,
based in the U.S., right? See, the
exactly.
brokers that we use are based in the U.S. Again, we are educators. We are not affiliated with any brokers. We don't get any commissions from any brokers. We just teach, and that's all. So the brokers that when you start trading futures, the brokers are based in the U.S. and they
Okay,
can only
so
accept wire. They only accept wire transfers. There's no credit card. There's no debit card. There's no PayPal. They do not accept, because the thing is that they know that to eliminate more, should I say, to eliminate money laundering. So therefore,
exactly.
it's only wire transfer from your own bank account, and you have to verify the identity of your bank account.
Okay, so those traders can still get their money in pesos, of course, but
Yes,
through
yes,
wire
yes. You don't.
transfer.
You're right. You
And the
do not
banks
require.
also, yeah, accepts these. Okay, so I
Right.
think these are pressing points that people should know. Okay.
You don't require a U.S. dollar account. In fact, you just as long as you have a peso account, that's fine.
Okay, so this is a wonderful chat, Dominic. Thank you for accommodating me and for being the guest of my show.
No
Okay,
problem. In
so
fact,
you
like I said,
guys, yes,
if you guys want to know more, make
yeah,
sure to enroll. You
of
know,
course we're gonna enroll. So yeah, so I'm going to that. So you guys, as they've been going around the city as well, Dominic and his team. Are educating people around the metro. They've been to Cebu, Baguio, of course, Manila, and other, provinces and
Davao,
regions.
Davao. Yep,
Davao,
yep,
yeah, just
yep.
right, Davao too. Um, I'm just so happy to also share that Day Trading Academy. Well, actually, it's really more of like Dominic and his team are also going to be educating more and more Filipinos through the After Six Club. So it's such a privilege to have these guys who has a principle of discipline and also, of course, handling your money right through diversification.
Oh, I
Yeah,
must also add, because not a lot of Forex brokers are out here. In fact, a lot of
go for it.
they're
Yeah,
asking me to promote their product. But the thing is, here's the thing. I think I'm the only one who basically trades. A lot of people who say they trade here are basically marketers. I know there's a few that are really traders, but that's the only thing. There's far and few that are real traders and who basically teach what they trade.
exactly. Walk
I
the
basically,
talk.
right,
Right.
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Walk
Not
the
only that
talk.
they can walk the talk, yeah, they can walk the talk, exactly.
And
And
it's
like I
nice that you
said,
have experience also to bring with you so that when students also ask
right,
you questions, you know how it feels, you know how it, how it's like. Yeah, yeah. All right.
right. But
Yeah.
you know what? I'm looking forward to teach you and
Oh,
your husband,
yes.
Raymond. Yeah,
Yes, I am next in line. It's been way overdue, Dominic, and I know this is something that I've been super highly excited about as well. You know the rest of the story. So anyway, so you guys, guess what? So we are going to have free basic day trading webinars together with Dominique and his team, together with the After Six Club. So I'm just so happy because one of our mission, of course, is always to drive your ambition through progressive and transformative education. So having to
amen.
partner with these guys, I'm just so excited because it also helps you financially and you also gain the self-assessment mindset on how to diversify and also hold your money. So, okay,
Great,
so hopefully this will further enhance your knowledge about investing as well and try to see if this is the kind of medium that will fit you. So, we'll have the registration details posted on the After Six Club constantly, so you can check out the page or the website. And I will be also putting in a sign up sheet on the details below through and also you guys are all invited, so make sure that you register there so that you get to have the free invite. So okay, so you guys remember to hit like, subscribe, the notification bell to get yourself even more informed about our succeeding episode. Thank you again, Dominique, for being
thank you, Cassie, for giving me this opportunity.
of course, of course. And you guys, don't forget, drive your ambition. Until then, bye.